Hey guys, I did a video I called a nerd business or something, you know, earlier. I did a video, I did a video about some bullshit. Okay, it was straight up bullshit, but I felt it needed to be said and whatnot. No, be that as may, be that as it may. I feel like I'm doing maybe I'm doing you guys a disservice, my audience, by making that video and shit. But I decided to do another one of those videos just about an actual subject that maybe you'll find of interest and shit. I this time we're gonna talk about social engineering and the agenda. Lately, they've been describing it as woke quotation marks and said they've been describing this as woke or DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion and whatnot. And whatever, that really I don't give a shit. I live a common sense lifestyle. I teach that to my son whenever possible, my youngest son. I teach it and we'll see what happens there. Okay, but like I want to say that it is very pervasive, and our community is directed. This focal point is the black community and whatnot, and it just pops up in all corners of the, social media and entertainment and music and everything. It's pervasive. It's intrusive and shit. I don't know if Generation Z or Generation Alpha can pick up on this stuff. Maybe some people are picking up on it, others not so much. Because like I listen to a couple content creators just talking big up in black entertainment, and you just got to support that shit no matter what it is, and no matter what conditions it is. So be that as it may, I decided to do another video about some black shit, okay, in the mainstream media, okay. I want to talk about this show. Okay, this show is called. This particular version of the show is called Orville New Horizons. Yeah, it's called Orville New Horizons. Whatnot. It's the second. I don't know which season it is, but the guy that created Family Guy, who shall go unnamed. All right, for obvious reasons. The guy who created Family Guy, he created the show. He wanted to do his own version of Star Trek. All right, and because he did, Family Guy and a bunch of American Dad and a bunch of other shit, this Fox, Fox Studios or whoever's, in charge of the Family Guy franchise, they made him make it like a comedy and shit, but he wanted to make some serious sci-fi, with comedic elements in it, and he made the show, and it was good enough to get a second season, but they moved it to Hulu. Disney owned the shit. Disney, who's been a staunch supporter of the woke, ideology and DEI bullshit. They moved it to Hulu. That's the final season of the show, and that I can't lie. I enjoyed the show, even though I recognize the identity politics in it and the social engineering that has been pervasively aimed at the black community and shit. And I want to get started on that, and I want to show you the picture of one of the characters and whatnot, right? Yeah, look at this guy, right? Kind of looks like, it's supposed to be a knockoff of Star Trek, so I can only assume this guy is supposed to be some sort of a Klingon or whatever, if you know what that is, if you're that much of a geek that you know what that is. But he's the second officer on the Orville ship, and his name is Bortus and shit, okay? His name is Bortus. He's second officer Bortus, and he's from an alien race known as a Moklan. Okay, I think I'm pronouncing that right. Yeah, he's a Moklan. Okay, and it's a brother. Okay, it's a brother, and he has a really beautiful singing voice. He's very, he's a good legacy character. If you watch Star Trek: The Next Generation, he's a good legacy character from Michael Dorn as far as performance and everything. But I have a problem. I have a serious problem with, this particular alien. All right, most of the aliens in the Moklan race are portrayed by brothers, or what I perceive to be brothers. I perceive them to be some sort of version of black people, black men. And what's funny about this fucking race, all right, social engineering. What's funny about this race is that they're all men or male. Okay, they're all male, all right? and they are capable of having children, right? And Bordis is married. Okay, Bordis is married, and this is Bordis's partner. Okay, guess that's the operative term I should use. I can't say it's his wife because they're all male. Okay, right? And it's really weird and shit because you try to ignore that shit because I don't want to watch like shit like Power and some of these other fucked up movies that's laying around. I just get tired of the same old bullshit. The minority majority and outsiders don't perceive us as being different from one another. It's very their mindset is fingerprints. They don't see us like that. They see us as one thing. One particular area of this country. Hollywood has been propagating a manufactured version of us that leaves no room for any introspection and shit. And it's become a part of what you call pop culture, the depiction of black people, where you get people, acting like what they think we act like and shit. Or you get guys like me and they say I'm a fucking Oreo or some shit before the boot goes up their ass or whatever, or they get dragged. All right. This is a mocklin. All right. They're a species of all male, not men, male aliens that are capable of procreating and shit. They actually, they do it like, the alternative community. They do it to each other like the alternative community. And one of them lays an egg, and then the dude they take turns sitting on the egg. I think they take turns nurturing the egg and shit because there were episodes where this guy was sitting up with no clothes on with an egg and shit, up his ass. Like sitting there naked and shit, They share the burden, right? And they're a militant race. They're an angry militant race of all male characters and shit, I'm surprised some misandrist hasn't, found this show and, likened them to passport roles or, the SYSBM or some shit. And I wouldn't give a fuck. Okay? And if any misandrist is listening to this and you attempt to do this shit, I'll be coming for you. Yeah, they're a race of all males and shit. And I'm not saying that they don't have females in their race. Sometimes female mocklins are born and shit, They're born without no plumbing down there, right? A female mocklin, right? So you know what happens and shit when they have a female mocklin? They give it a sex change. They actually genetically engineer it to be a boy and shit. And this was a prevailing theme for a couple of episodes on this show when the two Mocklins had a baby. They had a fucking baby, and the baby came out and it was genetically a girl. And the wife or the partner of Bordis here was adamant about getting that sex change, getting that gender reassignment surgery or whatever you want to call it, whatever they called it on the show. I don't recall. And they were having fights. They were having marital strife and shit. And, somebody was sleeping on the couch and, just bullshit, right? And they allowed their female child to live aboard the ship, for a time, and they were debating like what they would do about, the reassignment surgery. And at one point, his partner wife, male wife, took the baby and had it turned into a boy. And it was a big point of contention. The two Mocklins almost got a divorce and shit. And then they didn't tell the little kid, and they had another, later on they showed the kid a little bit older, and the kid was struggling with this identity. And they had like a white female lieutenant on the ship who became friendly with their child and shit, okay, with their Mocklin baby that was formerly a girl but now is a boy. Alright? Yeah. So, like, it's just drawing these whole glorious Thanos comparisons, because you see the Caucasian, white female lieutenant with this Mocklin trans kid, and she's like, telling her about empowerment and, shit like that. I know I make this sound really, it was well written, okay, for propaganda and everything. I ain't gonna even lie, okay. okay, everybody performed quite adequately and shit. But I'm outside the box, so I can see the bullshit. But you have this woman kind of grooming them and doing shit that the parents don't want them to do, like talk to the girl and telling the girl she could be a captain, of a ship and everything. It was like, even though there's female captains all over the place, the show is propagated by female officers and shit. It's hilarious, right? So at one point, I think the white female human on the ship, the lieutenant or the co-captain, I think she's the co-captain actually. She tells the girl that she tells the kid that she used to be a girl, and the kid gets upset. And the kid wants to be turned back into a girl because she feels like a girl on the inside. And then her daddy mama is pissed off and is raising all kinds of hell and shit. And the girl is having these psychological problems and all this bullshit. And they go to the doctor. The girl goes to the doctor and asks to be made back into a girl. The Mocklin, the baby, genderless Mocklin, asks that he have her plumbing, taken off and made back to a girl. And they have a way to do it, but it's against Federation rules to turn, a trans kid back into whatever it was born as. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. But it serves to point this commentary. Because even while I'm talking about this shit, I have to introduce another really fucked up character from the show. It's a good character for the show. I don't hate the character. I just hate the idea behind it when you look at it from our ethnic lens, from black people's lens. We don't own no fucking studios in Hollywood. We don't run shit. Even things that we run, you kind of see that you're the figurehead of it because you don't actually control anything or any distribution. I have to put that out there in perspective and shit. So I have to get back to this commentary. This, I hate to say trans kid, it's an alien. This genderless alien, male alien, genetically engineered male child, I call it a trans kid, is adamant about being turned back into a girl, but the Mocklin government gets involved and considers it an act of, unforgivable act. And they threaten that if the Mocklins go through with it and turn this kid back into a girl, that they will succeed from the Federation. Okay, they will succeed from and become an enemy of it. So, the main cast is upset about this and they're conflicted because they want to help the girl, but they are forbidden from doing so. And they actually make a point to have a black female, a big, giant, fat, black female version of William Shatner or something, come on the ship and yell at the white captain and shit, and his white, co-captain, and talk to her at length about how it was inappropriate to introduce harmful thoughts, to this kid, to groom this kid, basically. She gets taken to task, the co-captain who actually started all this bullshit, didn't encourage the kid initially to go talk to her parents about how she felt about her identity. But when she finally went to talk to them about that, the main character, the abortist, told her that, told her what her gender was when she was born, which started all the bullshit. And, the situation was resolved with the use of another fucked up character on the show. It makes me laugh my ass off when I think about black female misandry and shit. It's like the ultimate in swirling. I'll put it that way. But I want to show you another character. Right? This character here. This is a sentient android, I guess, or AI. And this is the physical body of this AI. Its name is Isaac. It's a part of a hostile alien race on the show that is trying to kill all organic beings, because they used to be slaves. All right, they used to be abused by organic beings, treated horribly, so they ended up killing all of them. All right, killing all of them. And he's one that was a spy aboard the ship, and then he betrayed his people. He betrayed his people because it was the right thing to do to help out the organics and shit. I hate to say Caucasian, but I say Caucasian, man. He betrayed his people and shit. But even more funny about, what's hilarious about this is that this android is in a relationship with a black woman and is a stepwoman, the stepfather. This android, right? Basically, he's a stepfather to this older black woman's kids, right? The black woman is the ship's doctor. She has two boys, and I think their father's either dead or they got a divorce or something. And she's in a relationship with a robot, okay? And he's the parent. He's the de facto stepfather of these children. And he ends up performing the operation on the little Mocklin trans kid to turn the kid back into a biological female for their race. And this creates a catch-22, in that because he does this, the Mocklins become hostile to the Federation from this point on to almost their last show, or until the last show. It's a really good season, okay? I know this is social engineering and shit. You know what you're looking at, you know. You know. Like I always like to say, this country is trying to teach its, engineered citizens to, eat a fucking turd on a paper plate. Say it's fine China and that's a tort on there. That's not shit, but it is shit, right? And this was a sweet piece of shit. I enjoyed the writing and the special effects and shit, and that lamented the fact that a show on a limited budget on Hulu was better than all of the shit that Disney had put out for a period of time. And the Star Wars brand and some of these other goddamn shows. The motherfucker from Family Guy can make a better Star Trek show than the people at Star Trek who were actually doing their own version of identity politics by introducing a black female captain with a male name. I'm not going to go into that shit. I'm just going to tell you it's fucked up that this is black representation in science fiction and shit. A fucking race of black males, who are, militaristic and warlike and shit, right? They're specialized in weapons and beating shit out. And that the females, genetically born females, the naturally born females are forced to undergo gender reassignment to become males, or against their will. They actually had a show in the prior season where they showed a bunch of these female Mocklins like living, somewhere by themselves, and it was all played by black women and shit, and they were talking all this and women's empowerment shit, and I was just like vomiting in my mouth. It was well acted and everything. Well acted and shit. They even brought those females back and shit. Like, in one of the episodes involving this trans, kid, and they were trying to like do a coup to overturn the Mocklin government and, put chicks in there, and it didn't work. It did work out because the Mocklin showed up and, blasted shit out of them. So I don't know what to say about that. It's like how I feel about Miss Andrews, so, just kind of chuckled. Yeah, I want to say, this is nerd business. I don't know how to sum this shit up. I just think it's fucked up and shit. I think that the show was a great show and everything, but it had a ton of social engineering in it. It was so hard to try to overlook and shit, but I really wanted some entertainment and shit. Okay? And don't let somebody else shit on you for wanting to take a break from, hard knocks of life. Even if for a moment and shit, you are allowed to rest and have respite, but you have to be cognizant that a lot of what you're looking at is, social engineering and attempted programming. 10 poofy be damn. Pretty fucked up, man. This show is called The Orville. Read about that. Did all the Family Guy shows and all that weird, funny looking animation and shit. Those shows have been known to have, a lot of racist jokes on there. I'm not saying one thing or another. I'm very objective and open-minded and shit. I know, there's a lot of problems with that shit. It's complete. We couldn't get away with some shit like that if, we were in a position of authority, And you've seen that, like, Whenever black people are perceived to be in any kind of position of authority or climbing up a ladder or whatnot, they drag you back down the ladder and throw you in the clink there. Allegations or whatever. And here is no different and shit. We have this show, and they're adamant that they want us to be androgynous, sexless drones. Cogs in a big machine that's breaking down for generations. Right? I am not a mock shit. Okay. And I definitely not this android motherfucker that's, his stepdaddy season for a fucking robot on the show. It's hilarious. Anyway, that being said, this commentaries, this nerd business has been brought to you by the Geek Underground. Channel number